Oh, yes, you're on the Heat, SiriusXM. Mina, say what? You are in Mina's house, and stepping in the house today, it's Tyla Yaweh. Woo!
What's going on? What's going on?
Looking like a full rock star.
Thank you. That's me. I can't
Yeah, I
complain.
love it.
You know
I love the energy.
they've been
You got
calling
the
me the new Rick
tat.
James lately.
I can see that. I can see Rick James vibes. Congratulations. Your sophomore album is out right now. It's called Heart
It's
Full of
actually my
Rage.
first album, by the way. It's my first
Well,
debut.
your first, but there was another first.
And that was the prefix.
So that was the lead up to this album.
This the
So
lead
that's
up.
interesting. You consider this your debut album, so the excitement must be even like more for you.
Oh man, I'm moving at like 1,000 miles an hour right now, just like jumping all over the room. So excited to finally give my fans some good music and a good body of work that I worked so long on, like for 4 years right now. So it's been amazing, like to actually put this out and a relief off my back too.
I was gonna say that because I've been watching you, like your moves for a couple of years now. And how has that process been for you? Like working this long, how long have you been grinding to get to this point in your life?
Well, it just gave me a lot of patience, like
Mm,
it taught me how to just really focus on perfecting your craft and not just giving something that's going to be gone tomorrow. I wanted to give people a piece of magic that's going to last for 20, 30, 40 years, like our kids can listen to this.
yeah.
And I just put a lot of my memories, cultures that I've been around, different breakups, friendships that I don't have anymore, just everything into this music and this record. And it really explains what I've been going through, explains my emotions. It shows where I'm manifesting to the next level, like where I want to be next year and the next couple years from now. So it's like I really love that I finally put out this record and did it the right.
It's interesting you say this is your sophomore album because there's another album that I've heard from you called Heart Full of Rage, which I thought was like the first album.
Mhm.
So what went into the business, like the behind the scenes, for you to be like, no, 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 that album was kind of like, a lead up to my debut album.
Well, that was like a record. That Heart Full of Rage was what really opened the door for me, And we came to like I got signed at that time too, like right when I
Right.
put it out, and it was just the beginning of my career, and I felt like that wasn't an album. It was more of a introduction to the
Mm.
people, showing who I am to the world, and thank God that people really love that record, and I got to tour for years off that, and still touring off of it, and it was just like one of those. It just shows my like Heart Full of Rage 2 shows my maturity now.
Mm.
It shows how much I grow, how much knowledge I have, and it shows my creativity and like where I really want to be.
Right. You have Young Blue on this album, Ty Dolla Sign, Chris Brown, Dej Loaf, Tuzi. There's some heavy hitters on here.
Hmm.
Who did you really enjoy being in the studio with
All
and
of
making
them,
music?
everybody,
Hmm.
everything happened so organically, and these are my friends, and it wasn't something that had to wait for to get cleared or anything. These are like literally genuine friends. Like even that was way more like still like I still can't believe this is somebody I can call right now and just go hang out with randomly, like Chris Brown, like pulled up to his crib and recorded a amazing record, and being like having someone like that in my corner, just getting advice from him, and him showing me new creative ways how to be a good artist and the best artist is amazing,
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say that. I mean, people really go for a Chris Brown feature because it's almost like music gold, right? Like the second you get a CB feature, you gonna get radio. So for you to have that, that's incredible.
it's a
It just speaks
blessing.
to how talented he feels like you are.
And we just shot the video too. That was actually super fun. I was actually hanging out with him before I got out here. We hang out a lot, and it was just so organically how that friendship happened. Like I one day I tweeted I wanted to make a song with Chris Brown, and he hit me up on Instagram. Like he hit me he's like, yo, my bro. He's like, I fuck with your music. I was like, nah, this ain't real. And
Right.
then like we end up linking up later on and actually hanging out and just like talking about anime, talking about all different type of things in life that just giving us knowledge, and we just started just sending each other memes, and we just hung out as like real friends, you know? Like we started off as a real friendship, and I never really thought of like, oh, I'm gonna just get a song with Chris Brown. Like that wasn't my intentions, you know? And one day he calls me to pull up to the crib, and we made an amazing record, you know, City of Dreams, and we're really living in the city of dreams.
We got a record, of like fire record with Chris Brown. And this is your moment, Tyla. Like
I'm
you're
in,
here, man.
I'm enjoying
Congratulations.
every second of it too. It's such a blessing to be in this place. To be honest, like it takes so long to get to the top like this. You know, we usually stuck at the bottom of the floors. You know, trying to get in, and we finally got here.
Yeah. So there's a lot of songs that I like from you, but I want to talk about a couple in particular. So off Heart Full of Rage, my good friend PNB Rock is on the other one. And rest in peace to P. I love that record off, you know, that song off your last project.
You know, that was
Can you
one of my
just
best friends.
share some memories that you have of him? Because I just love that song that you guys have together.
Actually, before he passed, we went skydiving. Actually, yeah, I have
What?
a whole video of it. Actually, we went skydiving. We were like really going through this moment, just trying new things, and like he was my next door neighbor. Like we literally hung out every single day. One day
Wow.
he'd be like, "Yo, Neff, I'm outside. Pull up." I'm like, he'll just pick me up randomly, or I'll just pull up on him, or we'll go here. And that was somebody I talked to every single day. Like we tell each other, like when he was going through his moments with his like situation, like he'll always vent, or if I was going through something, he was always there for me. We made a lot of music together. We have so many songs together, and I'm still mourning a little bit, you know, because that's
Yeah, I'm
like,
getting a little sad right
yeah,
now.
that was really like my real close friend. And I remember the day he called me. He was like, "Bro, I'm finally independent. Like I finally can drop music and this and that." And it hit me because I remember it just hit me differently from it hit a lot of people, you know. It's just sad, you know. And I
Yeah.
miss him every single day. Like actually, you can see on my phone. He's with me every single day. Actually, you can see it on my phone.
Oh, I
Yeah, that's
love
my
that
dog.
picture.
That's my dog. And he was all
I
he.
just want to remember the good things about him.
Yeah,
And
man.
I know that you guys have a couple of, you know, records together. And, you know, you don't just have a whole bunch of records with somebody without building a relationship with them, you know? I didn't know you guys were neighbors though. What was
Yeah,
that
I
like?
actually when if you hear in the song in race skating, he's like, I might just move to LA. I might just move to LA. He really
Yeah.
moved to LA because of that. Like I got him to move to LA, you know, and that I guess like that dude right there was just the most genuine person ever. He will give you his last dollar. He's
Yeah.
always thinking of people. He took care of everybody no matter what. And I feel like he's still here with me no matter what, and he'd be so proud of me right now. Like there's a lot of these songs on this album. It was one like his favorite songs. You know, he was so excited for this album, and it's finally out. And I feel like he's up there in heaven just partying with us right now.
Right. You ever gonna release that music that you have with him that you
De-
haven't released?
well, we're definitely gonna release some music in the future. They just the politics of his estate and stuff. They're just getting that ready, and
Right.
I can't wait to hear the music that he was gonna put out. Like he was literally about to drop a project that was insane.
Yeah.
So he's still here with
Well,
us.
we also love Tommy Lee. We played Tommy Lee with Post Malone here on The Heat, and it's actually your first Billboard Hot 100 hit. So congratulations.
Thank you
How
so
did that
much.
feel to get, you know, the chart love?
Oh man, that was amazing, you know, and still doesn't feel real that we're here today, you know. So every day I just take in the moments like it's my last, you know, and I enjoyed that I made this record that a lot of people around the world can sing, and they sung it. Like we were in Thailand and people were singing every song. I'm over here, they're singing every song. So that song really explains who I am as a person. And we released that during the pandemic, and I felt like that song was helping a lot of people get through the pandemic.
Mm.
And we made it, man. That's the one thing I love. Like we made it to that moment.
And then Tommy Lee actually played the drums.
Yeah, Tommy Lee,
how
that's one of my
how
good friends.
come about?
Well, he was so excited that I named the song after him. He's like, "Wait, you know who I am?" I'm like, "Of course we know who you are, Tommy Lee. You're Motley, the lead drummer of Motley Crue. Like, come on."
Right.
So, and then we ended up just getting real close after that. We made the record. We got John 5. He was like, he's actually on Motley Crue now, but he was Marilyn Manson's guitarist. Got John
Wow.
Five on there too, and actually his son ended up producing on it too. Dylan Lee ended up producing on it too, on the remix. Yeah, being close with a rock star like that is
That's a
super crazy.
real, like
It's
OG
really
hairband rock star.
real hairspray music, you know. And shout out to Tommy Lee. He actually left me a voicemail, and we
I
put.
was gonna ask. So on the new project, there's a Tommy Lee too. That's an actual voicemail from Tommy Lee to you.
He sends me voice messages like every week. It's
I love
insane.
that.
He's insane, man. He's a child at heart, and he will never grow up. And I wish to be like him when I'm older.
That's like your rock star dad.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, another song that I love from you is "Stuntin' on You" with the baby. Can we talk about how that came about?
Oh, Stunting on You. We actually made that song, and it was just right at that time. It was like he had the song Rockstar going on. He was
Yeah,
just going crazy too, still going crazy, and it just felt right to put him on that song. You know, Stunting on You was just it was it was that vibe. You know, it's
it's
that
a
go.
bop.
It's
Yeah,
a vibe. You like when every time that ooh Stunting on
"Stuntin'
You.
on You."
So shout out to that. Shout out to the baby for getting on that, and it was just such a fun record to make and a fun video to shoot too. So like we just had super fun on that.
Tyla Yaweh is joining us here on the Heat, SiriusXM. You're in Mina's house. So, Tyla, for people who are now learning about you, you actually were discovered by Dre London, which is Post Malone's manager, and then Post Malone as well. So, can you talk about how that happened? Like, what was that day like? How do you get discovered? Like, how does that work?
It's crazy because it's a long story. Long story short, 2000. It was like 2000. It was the beginning of 2015, I think. Right before I moved to LA, actually, I opened up for Posey. It was his first show, and it was with the owners of Rolling Loud. Shout out to Tarek and Matt. They used to put me on every show that they have up and down Florida, and I was the only opener for that show.
Mm,
And I was backstage, and it was, I guess it was meant to be one of those moments that was just written in the book. End up moving to LA that same year after opening up for Post Malone. Moved to LA, did not like know if I was gonna run into anybody or be around anybody. And shout out to my manager Tess. I did a Rolling Loud. It was Rolling Loud Oakland, and I was independent. I was doing everything myself. I was on Rolling Louds by myself. Like I was
wow,
doing everything
that's
myself, and
incredible.
I was ranting on my Instagram, and Tess seen that, and he hit me up. He was like, "Yo, whatever your like, if you got manager, whatever, like I work with Post Malone and Dre London, da da da. Like let's make this happen." He put me in the studio. Dre calls me. He's like, we already had each other's number at that time. Like he was already trying to sign me back then, but I was already in my situation. He was like, "Yo, whatever you do, come to the crib. We gonna make this shit happen right away." And from there on, we haven't stopped. And shout out to Posey for showing me the whole world. Shout out to Dre. Shout out to Tess. I would never be here without him.
And it must be inspiring. It's inspiring to be on tour with Post Malone. I mean, his audience is so diverse.
Diverse.
And even where he performs, he goes overseas. And for someone like you to open up for that,
Yeah, we did a
that
world
must
tour.
right.
A
Like
world tour.
that must have opened your eyes so much to so many different things.
It's just crazy how the dots connect, you know, like opened up for him for his first show ever, and
Right.
then ended up doing the world tour with him, you know, that really got to see him become the rock star he is, the biggest, one of the biggest artists in the world. So it's a blessing every single day.
What did you learn from that?
I learned to be a rock star. I'm just
Right, what
nah,
that means.
what I learned from it is just the hard work and dedication that comes with all this, you know, and you can't let none of the hard struggle moments like get to you. You got to keep going, keep your foot on the pedal, and just keep driving.
Yeah. What's your ideal tour? Because your performance is really strong, and you know you have your whole rage theme, which is not in the negative sense. It's
Mm.
more so along the lines of what is it like? Release
All good
energy,
release all good
release.
energy.
Yes, that's what it is. So, what's your ideal tour? Since you're such a like high energy performer.
Ideal tour. Well, I'm doing my first headlining tour coming up soon, and we're about to announce it this week, actually. And
Okay, we got an exclusive. Let's
yeah, we're
go.
about to
Love
announce it this
it.
week. I feel like idea tour. I don't have an idea because it's like I have so many different fans from like literally I've seen older people from the age of 50 to 60 turn up at my shows. Like pull up to my meet and greets like, "Yo, aren't you supposed to bring your kids?" "No, I came here to see you." Like so it's just like so many different ranges of like ages and different people and love, and like people just show their emotions, and I just want to let that be known, to be yourself at my shows. Like whatever you want to express, just express yourself, you know. So I don't really have an idea tour. I just love to be on the stage. Once I hop on that stage, I just release all good energy.
That's right. Your favorite song, you have to pick one.
I don't really have a favorite song, but if I could, I'm gonna go with Stuck, because I was really in my feelings, and I recorded that on my birthday. It was like the day of my birthday, and I was going through a crazy breakup, and I just wanted to release my actual emotions and show like how vulnerable I actually am, and not just, you know, a lot of people just hold that back, you know, and not really show those emotions. I never really showed my emotions through the music like that, and I felt like Stuck was just showing who what I was going through, and I know a lot of other people go through that same situation, and who doesn't have a person that you always want to get that call from, who that's always on your mind, and I had to give that to the people.
Yeah. I know you produce a lot of music with this particular album. Did you produce all of it, or did you,
I work
co-produce? How did that work about?
I co-produce well, a lot of these I have my producers with me on the side, like they were with me everywhere, like Caesar, my boy Hector Sounds, B Lewis. I can name a bunch of the homies that was just with me the whole time. Lucian Parker, like we was going crazy on this, and a lot of the songs I started off with melodies, like just loops, like guitar loops, and then we build over it, you know, and then that's how we start the song. Like whatever that loop is, I start the melody, I start the lyrics on there, and then we find the production right after.
I
Everything.
was gonna ask that. That's what I like about your music. It's catchy, and you have those that the catchy beats.
hmm
Like, does that just come to you? I that's why I think I'm drawn to your music. It's very melodic.
it just well, it came from, up top.
The God sent it down
It
and said,
sent it
"Here's the
down.
melody."
It sent it down.
So
Nah,
you
but
make all your melodies, like all of
all of
that
them,
is you.
all of them, and a lot of music,
Wow.
like I freestyled a lot of it. Like a lot of it just came straight off the top. Just being in that moment, and just like I hear the melody, and then the melody, like I'll just come up with the words during the melody, and it just breaks the story down. I'm like, oh, that's a story. Like that word just brought the story alive, and this is what we were going through. So. And I definitely had a few co-writers on there that my dog Lucian, like, he's my engineer too. He's with me every day. So we'll just sit there freestyling back to back. Yo, you should say this. Oh, no, wait, well, let's say this. So shout out to my team. We couldn't do it without, I couldn't do it without them.
Before you go, I was watching your documentary and you were talking about growing up in Orlando and then moving to LA and how you made the choice to stay there and you were homeless at one point. I'm sure that message really resonates and inspires other people because now, you went through this trial period where you were stuck, like the song, right? And now you're here, your debut album is out. What message do you have for people who might be feeling the same way?
Man, being homeless was the best times of my life, to be honest, because it taught me that this world is a playground and it's all yours. You can manifest whatever you want with thoughts and just being yourself and not giving up. It was multiple nights I was sleeping in an alley, like behind the Starbucks that I go to now. Like, I can barely afford the Starbucks, and
Wow.
just being in that situation just showed me how strong I am to get through any trials and tribulations. And I want to show people, just not give up on themselves. Like, make anything happen that you want to do, like regardless what it is, like whatever career choices you want to make it happen, be the best at it.
I love that. Tyla Yaweh, his debut album is out right now. Heart Full of Rage 2. The tour is coming. Watch the documentary. It's so good. I learned so much about you.
Thank you.
And thank you for making time today.
I appreciate you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day.
You too. It's Mina. Say what? You're on the Heat, SiriusXM.